What's up, guys? I am Uncle Freedom coming to you on a glorious and well-deserved day off. And quite possibly one of the coolest Savage Tactician shirts I have gotten in a while. It was the club shirt for last month. On the back, it says, "Guys only want one thing, and it's disgusting." And it's a Toyota Hilux with a mounted 240 in the bed. Not inaccurate. So we've talked about lots of things here very recently as I'm getting used to dialing in a lot of this new stuff. And something that came up, it's come up a few times now, and that is talking about everyday carry. Everyday carry is a highly personal decision, right? Like everybody's got their stuff that they want to carry. Some of us are very overboard, some of us are not. But if you are of that prepared minded defender of innocence, which is predominantly the people that watch my channel, you need to have your EDC set up in a way that it makes you an asset in this uncertain world that we do live in. And what do I mean by that? So we all talk about everyday carry in the realm of I got my wallet, got my phone, I got wallet, I got my phone, I got my ink pen, I got my pen, got my notebook, right? And then we got like little trinkets and crap, right? Like we have like little flags or coins or whatever. That part of EDC is fun, but that's not the part of EDC I'm talking about. I'm talking about your core kit that goes with you every day, because this trip to the social experiment and culture and happiness that is Walmart might be the day that they're not going to raise those prices on Jimbo ever again. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, guys, if you want to support the channel, go ahead. Description box down below. That link will take you to my link tree. That links out to my Facebook and Instagram page, as well as all known affiliates of the channel. We're adding new guys all the time, as well as my Patreon account that should be up by the time this video goes live. That video, I have it set up 4 separate tiers to Patreon. I'll do a specific video on that, probably on a couple of platforms, so people know. I have everything from a supporter all the way through us being able to have video interfacing servers where we can actually host classes. So I think that's really cool. And as always, like, subscribe, tell a friend, share the videos. Because you sharing and liking and subscribing is how YouTube pushes this video out to another guy. Think about it this way. Every time you like one of these videos, somebody like you that doesn't know I exist gets shown me. And that's cool. And that's awesome. Like, that's freaking cool. I started this little social experiment of mine about a year ago and was floored when I hit 1,000 subscribers. And I'm closing in on 20 grand as of the time I filmed this. And that's just insane to me. So for that, I thank you guys, because none of this is possible without you. So that's cool, which is one of the reasons we're starting to look at some of the stuff y'all keep asking about. So building out your kit for the everyday carry for the prepared-minded citizen that considers themselves a defender, right? That could be anything. But there are some staples that have to exist in that world. First, absolutely first and foremost, is your everyday carry firearm. This is one of the most important pieces of kit that you can own. And I say that because I know somebody's immediately going to be like, but my flashlights, bro. You're right. Flashlights are like the most useful thing you have. However, if the day comes where you need a gun, there is absolutely nothing else that will do that job. That is where guns are different, right? I could buy a flashlight at Walmart if I forgot my flashlight. I can't buy a gun at Walmart decked out to my specs that quick, right? So your gun is the one thing that if you need it, there's nothing else that does that job. So this goes along with that other video where I talk about the fact of if you are rocking, 9 Palmetto State Armory daggers, none of which that are built out completely, or you have like a 48, a 47, a 49, a 45, a 17, a 19, none of them are built the way you want it, but you're excited because you have all those Glocks. Cool. That's great. Be excited. I'm super happy for you that you have all that. However, you should have one of these, which I covered in the video of Where Do We Go Now, of that's built out and ready to go, that you should be just a rock star on. This is the most shotgun you own because you carry it and trust it. So your handgun. That handgun needs to be quality. I'm not going to tell you you need a Glock or a Smith & Wesson or a SIG or an FN. It needs to be quality. It needs to be a quality firearm that you shoot extremely well, that you have lots of, it should be the most shotgun handgun you have, because we're basically saying we're having it in case I need to actually go to work. And if I'm not the most competent on anything I've got and I'm carrying something, it's dumb, right? Be the most competent you can be. Make those modifications and build this thing out to your standards. Like, the stuff you do to it, is it necessary? Does it make you better? Can it enhance your skill set? Period, right? Like, we got to look at these things. So when we build these things out, yeah, this can be expensive. And this is where we get into this problem that I've mentioned before, which is people that won't carry this because this is $3,000 worth of handgun and they don't want to lose it to the popo if they get into a shooty shoot. That's a dumb idea, right? I'll tell you right now, like, I carry this at work. I got news for you. If I get into a shooting work, I will lose this for 6 months. So guess what I have? I have another 45 with the next 300. This is also getting an acro because I like the acro. Have more than one, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Don't do that first. Build one first. But you have this, right? So this is absolutely essential. Personally, for me, I find a red dot and a weapon mounted light to be essential to what I do. Not necessarily the comp, though the comp is cool. And the more I shoot with a magwell, magwells are important to me. Having that. Your next thing with your firearm, though, is you need a consistent way to carry that firearm. So for those of you that are the Glock 48 gang, again, we're clear. My range safety officers pull the trigger in a safe direction. In case YouTube's wondering, this is a safe area in my house in which I maintain work on firearms and dry fire. There's actually Kevlar paneling behind the camera. But you can do a lot of things. You could do the T-Rex arms holsters. You could do this. This is a new one I'm trying out from Alien Gear. So this is the Photon holster. Little stiff to get into. I got to do some adjustment to it. It's very slim though, which I do kind of appreciate. But your holster is very important because that is the platform that carries that firearm everywhere you go. And you're counting on to keep that stable, accessible, and retain it more than that. My one, I carry this guy on duty, off duty. I love this firearm a lot. And I carry this holster. I've talked about these guys before. This is the Tenacor Malice Soul. This thing enables me to carry this firearm and not print under a t-shirt with a magwell, with a 17-round mag, with an acro on it, with a comp, with an X300. And that's capable because I use a good holster. As a part of that, you also need a good belt. I run the Tenacor Zero belt. This is the belt I have been running since I got mine in. I like that belt a lot. I've got it on right now. And in case you're wondering, it supports this today. So after that, your next option is a spare mag. Now, I too, like most other people, started on this trend by running like a T-Rex arm sidecar because carrying a mag that way was consistent. And I will say that the more you carry like that, you realize that having that platform stabilized on both sides is really, really beneficial. However, because I run Tenacor, I needed a mag holder. So what I run is actually this guy. So this is the Tenacor, I don't even remember the name, Ardo. So this is the Tenacor Ardo for the Glock or SIG magazine. So what I carry for my spare mag is a 19X Max. It's a 19-round magazine. I have a discrete carry concepts clip on this guy. Excellent and tuckable. But I like it. I can set cant on this to make it vertical. I ride mine where it sits a little off the side. Helps me get good index. I also have the discrete carry concept clips on this guy as well. So when I am running this in my pants, this is pretty much how I'm running this firearm system. I like that. I like that a lot. So those are the things that if something happens, that's the only thing that'll do that job. However, after you get past the gun part, this is the most useful tool you're ever going to own. End of discussion. I don't care if that tool is this, though this wouldn't be my first choice, or like this mod light here, right? I don't care what you pick. Personally, for me, my jam, my baby, is this guy. So this is the Mod Light PLHV2 18650 with a therm switchback. Enables me to activate this and use it both ways. I can also retain this light if I need to do things and get it out of my way and work on the firearm. I really like this light. This light's got 1,350 lumens at 54,000 candela. It's a fantastic light. I use light all the time. There's dark places everywhere. And light, used correctly, if I blast you in the face with this, I don't go to jail for brandishing because I shined a flashlight at you. right? That's important. Also, if it's dark, there's nothing else in the world that gives you the ability to see quite like a light. So I would have a good light. I would have a good light, and that light would be in my hand no matter what. My dogs. It would be in my hand no matter what, because if I needed to draw this, I can get this out of the way and engage, right? I can literally be like, oh crap, right? I can do that because of the way I have my light set up. This thing is absolutely useful. Something I found myself carrying at work is this guy. This is the Mod Light, focal length. This is the Mod Light Dual Fuel Red. Oh, it's awesome. This throws a beam like 190 to 200 yards. It's really cool. But I use that all the time at work because I work overnight. But your light. After your light, what's the next thing you think I'm going to tell you? Medical. 100% medical. If you're not carrying medical on a daily basis, you are in fact wrong. All day, every day. You should at minimum be carrying something on you like a tourniquet. I have been, yes, I know this is in the plastic. I was doing a test fit. I was reached out to by Immediate Casualty Care. He makes some really cool inside the waistband. These are elastic inside the waistband IFAK setups. Very interesting idea. So he sent me the large one. He sent me the tourniquet holder, which is really cool. Also runs discrete carry concept clips. I think that's awesome. And then this guy, this runs a Utility-Clip, which is really cool. This has chest seals, everything, right down to this, my ARS needle. It's flexible, it molds to your body, but it's made for carrying inside the waistband so that you could do it. Maybe that's not your game, but this is an option you could do in a cargo pocket, or if you're like most people, you're carrying around a backpack. I know I do all the time. This goes in there. So this is a North American Rescue EDC wallet. From there, I have hemostatic gauze, chest seals. I have a 4-inch flat fold ETD in here. I have a thing of packing gloves, a thing of bear claw gloves, compact. I could put this in a cargo pocket easily in my backpack. So after I carry that, the next thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to carry a knife, right? This is a tool, man. We use these things all the time. Yes, you could go Doug Marcaida and collie the crap out of some people. I ain't that good. That ain't happening. But I do believe you should absolutely carry a knife on you, a folding knife or a smaller fixed blade knife. I do that as well sometimes. This is my Microtech MSI. So this is a very, very cool knife. It's got their caged lock system on here. Super fast. 390 steel. This thing's awesome. I love this freaking knife, man. It's super lightweight. I love everything about it. Knives are useful though, because they're utilitarian and we do utilitarian tasks. The days of us grinding out stones in which to cut things that we need to cut on a daily basis are over. Carry a good knife. You don't have to buy a Microtech and spend like $280 on a Microtech. You can buy a Spidey. I don't believe in buying cheap knives. I buy Kershaw if it's USA Kershaw. Personally, the Blur is my favorite. But typically, I am going to carry zero tolerance, Benchmade, Spyderco, or Microtech. Those are the ones I like. I like those knives, those companies, everything like that. If another option that I will typically carry always in my other pocket, because it's the same thing, is this guy. So this is a Victorinox Swiss Champ. I love these. I keep an ASP handcuff key on this guy. This is great because it gives me the ability to have a little bit of tools on me and stuff, because I don't typically carry a multi-tool in my day-to-day life, which this is ultimately useful and can be used in that defender mindset, which is what we're looking for, right? We're not talking about, I'll carry all this extra stuff because it makes life super awesome and sexy when I'm at work. No, I'm talking about things that we can use if the worst thing we can pick happens while we're out and about on our day, right? This is the kit that we're looking for to help us save and protect people. That's why there's a firearm at the top of this list and not your flashlight. That's why there's a flashlight pretty high up on this list before even the knife, because your knife is never going to be as useful as your flashlight. That's why I harped on your holster or your ability to carry a spare mag. That stuff's important, man. It's more important than you think. So after that, now that we've got our knife, we've got our light, we've got medical, the next one for me actually is something we all should be carrying every day, and that's a notebook. So this is a Field Notes brand leather notebook cover. I use the Field Notes notebooks, right? I love their stuff. I am always writing notes, taking notes, period. This is also useful if the bad situation happens and now I'm trying to tag people for triage, or I need to take down somebody's information, or if I saw something bad happen, because the best thing that we can possibly do is to be an exceptionally good witness, and your memory sucks. That's why there's an old like proverb that says the faintest ink will always be better than the sharpest mind. It's an end of discussion thing, right? We suck at remembering stuff. That's why we write things down. A good notebook does that. No, you don't have to have an $80 notebook covered with a Field Notes notebook. I don't care what you pick. Pick a Right in the Rain top bound, put it in your pocket, right? That's a you problem. But having a good notebook or a notebook that you enjoy writing in, so that if you saw this guy run, you can write down those little descriptors about that dude or a license plate that the guy had in the car, right? Where you saw people at, where you saw things go wrong. You can have this stuff written down so that you can actually use it. Field Notes has always had a really good thing. I'm not writing stuff down to remember it later. I'm writing stuff down to remember it now. That is exceptionally true. Having a good notebook and a good ink pen. Personally, like I use a bunch of different stuffs. Probably my 2 or 3 favorites. So the Karis Customs Render K and Copper. This is an Everyman Grafton right here. And then the good old Parker Jotter. Having a good ink pen with you and a good pocket notebook lets you do those pertinent things like take down detailed information that you could pass along to law enforcement, turning yourself into an exceptionally good witness that's not relying on your freaking adrenaline-addled brain to get it all right when you come back. So we talked about your handgun. We talked about your spare mag. We talked about your belt. We talked about how you're going to carry that handgun. The things that we should be looking to do to that handgun, because that's important. When we talked about that notebook, that ink pen, we talked about carrying a knife. We talked about carrying a light. What do you think that last piece is? It's this. A phone. This is not just for scrolling and watching my videos. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. That's not what this is just for. I can take pictures of people. So if this dude ran in, right, I'm like, holy crap, snap, 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 get a couple of photos. You can also videotape an incident to absolve yourself of some kind of liability because you had this on you, because now there's a recorded proof of it taking place. I could use this to take pictures of damage. I could use it to take pictures of a scene so that I could show it exactly as it was before things get moved. I can also do the most important feature in the world with this, which is calling 911. Right? If I call 911, that call is recorded from the second that gets picked up. Call 911. If you can't talk to them right then, put this damn thing on speaker and let it record, because they're going to get the information. It's going to be recorded and analyzed at a later date. This is one of the most important tools you can have, and we carry this every day without even thinking about it. I mean, I came in from the days of bag phones, and I remember when the StarTAC was the coolest thing in the freaking world, and I grew up playing Snake on well, I didn't grow up. I was older when cell phones came out, and I was playing Snake on a freaking Nokia, right? We have come a long way. This phone has more processing capability than my first computer had. That's awesome, right? I'm carrying around something that's got like a 20 megapixel camera in my pocket. Use your phone. It's not just for Instagram. It's a tool. Use that tool. So guys, to sum this up, you, as a good, prepared, red-blooded American patriot who is out there every day with the intention that you are going to protect those that can't protect themselves, or as I prefer to view at it, I am the buffer that exists between the bad stuff that I know exists and the good people that don't realize that bad stuff exists where they're at. That's what I am. You can use the sheepdog term, whatever you want to call it, right? Watching over the flock. Some of that's a little cringy, and part of that's because it got hijacked by a bunch of people. It's kind of like bro vet culture, right? When bro vet culture got super cringy, like all of the infantry guys were like, ew, right? It is what it is. But as being that kind of a person, you need a good firearm that you're competent, capable on, that has the additions to that firearm that makes you exceptionally good at what you do. And then train on it, not until you get it right, until you don't get it wrong. We need more ammo, not because you're going to get into a protracted gun battle, that most failures come from the feeding device inside of this thing. So a good magazine, you need a good holster setup to carry that with secure clips, keeping that firearm safe and secure on your person. We're going to need some medical. We need to be able to treat some kind of wound. At a minimum, have a tourniquet in your pocket, guys. It's super easy to do. Having a tourniquet and a small cube of compressed gauze solve a lot of problems. It's super easy to carry, and you can carry it even in your skinny jeans. From there, we need a good flashlight, something that we can use that has enough candela, enough lumens for me to disable your ability, take away your visual horizon, see into super dark places. And I could use it offensively if I needed to, jacking up your day without actually drawing a gun and going to jail for brandishing. Having a knife, because the utilitarian aspects of having a knife are absolutely awesome. And you know, there might be cake, and you might need to cut cake or stabs, or you know, stab a bitch, right? Whatever. Have a decent knife, and then after that, this freaking phone. And the part that people don't think of, a good notebook, because your memory sucks. And the higher your adrenaline dump, the worse your memory gets. So please, for the love of God, have a notebook, write down pertinent information, because that will help you to be a better witness later. And I promise you that's more important than most of the things. Auxiliary pieces like a multi-tool, and this is something I typically will carry. This is a Dragon Cut Designs pry rambit. This is a 3/4 of an inch wide, grade 5 titanium pry bar, bottle opener. I know it looks like a knuck, not what it's for. Could be used defensively if I needed to, but what this is really good for is if you were in a situation in which you needed to secure yourself in a room, I can bar a door with this. I can ram this in, smack it, and the door won't open. I can also use this to wedge doors open so that they can't be shut, facilitating a better flow of people in and out of a building itself. So something like this, very small, you can get wedges, they do the same thing. Having that with you makes all the difference. No, I'm not going to talk about your vape and your wallet and all this other crap, because you're an adult, man. I don't know what you need to carry, but I can tell you, if you're carrying because you're determined to be that gap in between good people who don't know the evil's there to get them, and those evil bastards intent on ruining our lives as we know it, these things are non-negotiable for me. And they should be non-negotiable for you. Hopefully this one at least makes you think, because most people don't think about that notebook for that reason specifically, but it is excellent, good for that. And like I said, if nothing else, if you didn't have a notebook, make a video of yourself talking about what you saw. That's more useful than you know. So guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. What is your mandatory stuff? Let me know down below. And again, if you're looking to support the channel, best way to do it. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, I'll see you later.